After collecting your historical data, you should have a laptop file created, and so I'm right here under my laptop file utility, and you can see my laptop file path is c:\pccu7\pccu data, and then I'm also down here I've highlighted my G4 Totalflow, which is my device ID is actually Totalflow, and location 210.3393-004, and that was collected today 4/19/2010. So I'm going to go ahead and with that highlighted, click the Reports button, and from this button you can see we have FCU, AIU, and NGC, and so I'm actually connected to an XFC G4, so I'm going to go ahead and open up FCU report, and then underneath here we have a selection of different types of reports that we can choose from. So starting up here at the top, if I were to check the characteristic report box, I can tell it how many days or a date range, and so in this case I just did last 3 full days, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the preview button and let it go out and read it. And so now I'll just double click this guy. So now what I have here is Totalflow laptop characteristic report, and this was printed today's date. The device ID is Totalflow. There's my location, the date and time it was collected, and then on down through here you can see how it was set up. And this looks similar to the report that we just viewed after collecting historical data, but this is a file that I can actually do a print directly from here, or I can do a save as and give it a name, and it'll be a .txt file, and we can push it out anywhere we want. If I go ahead and save it and put it into my documents, for example, then I can email this TXT file to anybody, and if they have Notepad or Word or something like that, they can view it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that and close this. And so we can go down the list here and just view a couple of different ones just to give you an idea. Here is a log period file, and so I can once again print it, do a save as, close them out. And so I could go through the list here and choose a handful of these, and total volume, missing data, and so forth, calibration report. If I preview last 3 full days, now I can go ahead and make this big, and I should be able to scroll through all the different ones that we collected there. Okay, go ahead and close that out. And so and now we have a due report up at the top. Preview is what we were just using. Close, help, and calibration header. So if I were to collect a calibration report, I could also choose my calibration header and just type in a header that I want at the top of my calibration report. Okay. And then down here at the bottom, we do have a report output, and printer, file, and email. And so if I'm going to use a file or mail, let me just show you mail for example. There is a mail output setup, and I need to put in my email address, a subject, and then a message that I want connected to it. Let's say OK to that. And then when I do report, then it should bring up my email and put in the subject and all those things, and then it should attach my report directly to the email and get it ready to send. The other one is the file output, and it looks the same. I can choose that and then actually put in a file name here. So it's going to put it under PCCU7 RPT output, and I can just call this one test 1, 2, 3. And so under my PCCU7 RPT output test 1, 2, 3, I should have a new file created that's actually going to house all of the different choices that I've selected here. So I'm going to do missing data, and it's set up for file, it's set up for the file output, last 3 days, due report, and it should run out. And now I can browse out to Explorer, and we're just going to go to that file directory. So under PCCU7, and then under report output. Okay, and then we're looking for test123.txt right there. 419 was created today, and here it is. So if we were to preview the file and do a save as, it would look more or less the same as this, or I can just tell it to go to the file output, and when I say do report, it just creates it, sends it directly to my file, so that makes it a little easier. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that and close this. And the last part of this is there is a new edit and delete report. So if we have an existing, we can highlight it and edit or delete it, or we could create a new report directly from this button. And if I choose this button, I can put in a report type, and once again we'll just keep it simple, testing. And this is going to be an FCU either daily or log period. I'm just going to drop them down to an FCU log period. Report style is normal, portrait's fine, and I'm going to add. And here I have DP counts coming off of the field source of flow record, and here's all of my choices that I could choose. So, if I wanted SP, for example, units, PSIA, title, static. Okay, and we could add a couple of variables here. So if I add a second one, and this one maybe I put in temperature and degrees F, and my title is temp. Okay, so now I got a couple of those set up. I'm going to run back to add one more time. We also have characteristic, and then under characteristic you can see we have different choices like the device ID, location, contract, start, hour, collect, date and time, and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. So now I have static and temperature collected or added to my report, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a save as, and it's going to put it out here under PCCU7 RPT DIR, and then I'm just going to call it testing 123, just like we named it before. Okay. Testing 123 or something along those lines, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. Okay, so now we have a file name of testing123.tfr, and my report name is testing, and this is going to be an FCU log period with static and temperature. And I'm just clicking save, make sure he's there, and I'm going to click OK. And now I've got a new report created. This is under FCU report, and down here at the bottom you can see my testing report right there. And then from here I'm just going to go ahead and preview this report. So here we have the name testing, the date it was printed, device ID, location, the date and time it was collected, and then you can see that it was static, PSIA, and temperature. So we pull both of those back, and then we could just kind of build onto this custom report and then do a save as and print. So I'm going to close out of that. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight it and edit it. And we can do a create view. We could also do a CSV format if you wanted to output this to comma separated so that you could view it, for example, in Excel. So now I'm going to go ahead and do create view and save that. And I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And close this down. And I'm going to jump back over here to the collect button real quick. And I'm just going to choose my Totalflow and collect those guys and output to screen and collect. Okay, and so up here at the top you can see it collected my tube Totalflow, and by choosing create view I also get a testing tab, and there's my static and temperature. So as the contract hours start to ring up, you can see it'll actually keep track of my custom report that I created, and then you can go in and collect historical data and actually grab that custom report that you created. So this concludes reports generated from historical collection.